Okay, so I've owned this watch for almost a year now, a year next month. So I thought it was worth doing a bit of an update, and one of the comments for one of the previous videos on this watch kind of spurred me to think, actually it has been almost a year, and I do think it's good to look back and reflect on his purchases. And as I say, this hobby, I like to think you got keepers, and as I say, for some of them I think I probably do. Like I mentioned this virtually every video, but my Amiga that I've had for almost 9 years now, that I bought for my 30th, and for going contracting, and it was the same month my daughter was born, and my 40th watches, they'll all stay. But everything else in between, and I've said this a number of times, is up for grabs. Okay, so it's definitely still a journey of trying to find out what I like. So where have I ended up with this? So just to go over it again, this is a Mark 18 IWC petit Prince. It is 11 millimeters thick, or very thin, 20 millimeters between the lugs, 51 millimeter lug to lug, and a diameter of 40 millimeters. So on my 7-inch wrist, it sits, for my taste, and this is all about what individuals like, obviously, very, very nicely indeed. I absolutely love it. There is anti-reflective coating on the inside of the crystal, I believe, and you can see that in some lights, and it really does add to the blue. So the things I enjoy about the watch, first of all, I really like the solid lume plots at 12, 3, 6 and 9. You can just see them just slightly raised off the dial. They just give an extra dimension to the dial, and it just looks very nice and clean indeed. It's a very small thing, but when you're kind of playing with the watch, doing what I'm doing now, and you can see the anti-reflective coating, how effective that is. So yeah, I really like those little lume plots. It's my first pilot style watch, and I like the legibility and simplicity of it. It looks fantastic, and when you've got that blue Le Petit print style with the white plots, the white hands, the white second hand, it's super legible, really easy to read. I like the fact the date window has a white background and not a blue one. I think if it had a blue one, it would look odd in that section of dial, and then you'd almost need a white, well, you would need a white day, and that would confuse, because then you'd have like a 4 where it is now, followed by a 2, and I think the white kind of makes it a bit more symmetrical with what's happening on the other side of the dial. So happy with that as well. The winding movement on it, I've mentioned before, is really nice and smooth. The crown has really strong knurling, so it's very, very easy to grab and actuate, sometimes a bit too sharp, and you can actually see the indentations on your finger afterwards, but very easy to use. The bracelet is still incredible. I've sized it to my size, to my wrist, probably more a year ago, and I haven't changed it since. But excuse me, you'll see that I think you're all aware by now that you use a pusher. You're supposed to get a tool from IWC. I didn't get mine, but whatever. I just use a toothpick to press those down, and then it slides out, the other one slides out, and you can change the link, and it means you've got a very clean side of the bracelet, which is also a really nice thing. Haven't seen another watch like that. I know Glasuta Originale are similar, and I think I've mentioned before the Alenga and Zona Odysseus is the same, but quite a rare thing. The clasp is one of the main party pieces. For those that, can I get to focus on the clasp and not the actual watch itself? So you can see there, you've got the micro adjustment. Oh, come on. There you go, just about. So you've got the micro adjustment positions there. So there's 6 1mm adjustment positions. Sorry, I can't get that to focus properly, but you can see it there. And what happens is you press the top side of the clasp, and that little bar moves in and then jumps across the positions. And the nice thing about that is you can do it on the fly. So you literally press here, and it moves in and out. And it is exceptionally comfortable as a result. The bracelet does not taper. I'm just going to put that back. The bracelet does not taper. It is 20 millimeters all the way down, and it's probably ever so slightly over where the clasp is. Twin trigger release, and also one thing about tapering, I find the fact that it doesn't taper, it makes no difference to me. It's the most comfortable watch I've ever owned. So taper, no taper, you might have a visual preference for it because it would obviously reduce the width of the bracelet and give it a slightly different look. But from a comfort perspective, no difference for me. I love stuff like this. I mean, having the perlage there where you don't even see it, I mentioned this on the full review, it's completely unnecessary, but I think it's fantastic. I also like the petit prints association on the back with that little dude. I really like that engraving and the mixture of finishing as well. You've got bead blasting, high polish. Sorry, interruption from my daughter there. So yeah, I love the bracelet. I love this guy on the back. It just looks nice. It makes it a bit more unique. You can see it's got some wear on it from where I've been wearing the watch. But yeah, quite a big mix of... Oh man, it's so hard to get this to focus using an iPhone. I should really do something about that, but there you go. Really nice mix of finishing. Let me see if I can do this. There we go. Really, really nice mix of finishing on it. What else? Just trying to think if there's anything else I really need to think about that's really good. I love absolutely the obvious thing. The sunray dial, sunburst dial, the blue. You can even see it there. For my taste, I like blue watches. So for my taste, it's just lovely. I absolutely love the sunburst effect on it. Negatives. So I will insert a picture. IWC sadly are known for not filling the loom properly in their hands, so you'll see that it's quite patchy. It's not bad enough for me to want to send back to IWC to get serviced, but it is annoying. And when it does go for a service, if it's still with me at that point, I will get that rectified then. And the only other thing is, you can see how easily that one actuates. If you look at this one, the tolerance is just a little bit too tight, so it doesn't fall. You have to kind of move it. Whereas with this one, if I lift it up, it just falls down. That's it. It runs at 3.5 seconds plus a day. The movement, I think, is probably well decorated, but quite average in terms of power reserve and all that type of stuff. But overall, very happy with the watch. I do have a new incoming very soon. So yeah, I was just saying I do have a new incoming on the way, and I have to justify the purchases, and this will give you an idea about the middle ones kind of being up for grabs. I actually put this on the market. I listed this and had a couple of inquiries on it, and then talked to my wife, and she said she prefers this to the one I've got coming in, which I'll do a video on when it does. And being the lovely person that she is, she said I can keep them both. So the watch collection is really moving along in a really nice way, especially after I buy my 40th watch next year. So, as I say, as much as I like it, and as much as it is the most comfortable watch I've ever had, and as much as I love the bracelet and the clasp and the dial and the legibility, it's up for grabs. If it's not an anniversary or special watch, it is up for grabs. But thankfully it's not. It's only been a year. I'd like to spend a lot more time with it. I do absolutely love it. The only thing I will say is, very quickly when I got it, I put a nick there. I managed to hit an area on my house I've never hit before, and annoyingly it actually came with a small nick on the underside of that lug. I've mentioned before, I'm a bit all over the place with this now, sorry, but the brush sides, I do like that. It really does hide micro scratches a lot. And the other thing I will mention actually is that the high polish links have held up pretty well. You can't really, oh there you go, oh that's my finger marks, hang on a sec. See, the benefit of having a towel when you're doing this. So you can, there you go, you can see there's just some marking on them, whereas the brushed ones just look brand new. And that is my issue with high polish. It looks nice, it makes the watch more versatile, but it marks like a son of a bitch. So yeah, overall, really pleased with it. Glad I'm able to keep it and look forward to some more time with it. If you've got any questions, obviously just let me know. Cheers.